Let me say good Friday morning to one and all. It's the 17th day of May within the year 2024. How is everybody doing this morning? Hope all is well with you and yours. And you're looking forward towards a productive day today. Yeah, it's Friday, and it's for a vast majority of maybe the final work day for us. It ends our week of work, if I could say it in that particular way. Welcome to this edition of To The Point. Those of you who are viewing via GBN TV, Channel 7, Channel 11, Channel 20, hope all is well with you also. Those of you listening to Classic Radio, whatever part of the island you're listening, blessed morning to you. Those of you via social media platforms also, hope you're having an awesome morning thus far. It's an open line edition this morning, which means feel free to give me that call. I haven't really jotted on any particular subject matter today that we'll be speaking on, so which I leaves it up to you, our loyal listeners and the viewers, to chime in on issues that is, of course, of concern to you. Let's hear your point of view on it. Of course, call 435-2041, 435-2041. And you have double options of calling in. That's via the WhatsApp, 435-2041, or direct line, 435-2041. Open line edition for To The Point. Today, you're going about doing your chores, and an idea comes to mind. Hey, I wanted to talk about that. Let me, of course, take the opportunity to do so. So feel free to give me that call. All lines are cleared. You also have the option of chiming in via the WhatsApp if you want to make a comment via the WhatsApp in terms of the message part of it. You can do that. Also via the Facebook. Yeah, there's a comment you want to make via the message part, or the comment section, I should say, via the Facebook page. You could also do that. 435-2041, open line edition this morning. And I certainly know there are lots you want to talk about this morning. It's been a crazy couple of weeks in the Spice Isle. And you want to chime in on that, feel free to do so. 435-2041. And if you're moving along on the nation's roads, I beg of you to take it easy. Those of you who are driving, of course, it pays, of course, not much to drive within the speed limit. All right? Yeah, so drive within the speed limits, and be a defensive driver if you drive along the nation road this morning. I had an option this morning, driving along this morning, and someone is just like, I was wondering where just to stop. That rush of wanted to overtake me, just to stop just a few meters in front of me. It was like, oh, what was that all about? Anyway, it happens. 435-2041. Let's get the program rolling off this morning. Once again, the open line edition of To The Point here on Classic Radio 105.5 and GBN TV. How's everybody doing once again? It's a bit slow on the calls this morning. And so I think we do have our very first caller. See if we can entertain that caller there. I lost that caller there for some reason. 435-2041. That's the number if you want to be part of To The Call this morning. Once again, let's entertain our first caller. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
You always seem to get the ball rolling for some reason. Good morning to you.
Good morning to your listeners and your viewers. I will start by saying, what if we were to other people ask the correct or appropriate question to issues that confront us? I was in a webinar yesterday dealing with resilient society, and one of the persons who gave the exposé an introductory remark mentioned that in order to have a resilient community, you need to have community in the first instance. And I think we have not been asking the question around community, because I think if we really try to put community where it belongs, a lot of the problem will be solved. You see, we have done things before, behind, or upside down, particularly since 1983. We have put the individual at the center of everything, and to the detriment of the family and the society. So we market even your entity for people to consume this and consume that, to be this and to be that. And we still focus on strengthening the community. Because if you have a strong community, you will have strong family, and you will have, I would say, upright or dignified character of the individual. But we're doing things wrong. In fact, we just had two major examination exercise with young people, and it was competition, trying to make sure that they get in the next round of the social apparatus. And of course, those who fail, to help. Let me take back, because I was saying, I think regardless whether you pass, you would be sent to nowadays. But I think we need to question ourselves. Do we need to promote individualism and competition, or do we need to encourage cooperativism and collaboration with contribution? We have been cultivating people who, the first question they ask, what's in it for me? Not what can I contribute to the further evolution of the society and the race, but what could I get from it? And at most times, we destroy or we grab things at the expense of others. So I'm raising that in the context of the problem we face in. The problem with the crime, with the water.
But Cole, if I suggest chiming in you just a minute, what is wrong with individuals competing against each other, in your opinion?
What we have seen, when you have competition, what happens? Dog eat dog. The fittest survive. But if you have cooperativism, and it's unfortunate that we have not tried to get cooperatives to work in these parts. And the progressive people who try to really innovate in cooperative have been kicked out of the cooperative movement. So, it's not nothing wrong with it, depending, and it's not helpful. It's not contributing to our collective survival. Well, of course, some people are fortunate they get through. For instance, one of the first things we did after 83 was to dismantle the tax system, where you had income tax where people pay as they earn. We take it off, and the people who are paying based on their earning went home with a large sum of money, whereas the people who earn very little had to pay the VAT based on their consumption. And you could never survive in a consumption society. That is a disastrous society. And I know I can't continue forever, because this requires a lot of discussion. And one of your callers had said this morning, in terms of one of the people to your other colleagues' program, that we need to have conversation on food security in the light of what is going. This is another thing we have to evolve with. And I was interested that he was observing some of the same thing like I do. Like, if you look at pattern, we are very much in line to get some of the experience we had at the beginning of the century, when we had Hurricane Ivan and so on, with the heat we have and so on. So we have to be prepared. We shouldn't be scouting to go to St. Vincent for things like ground provision this time around. Maybe other stuff, but not ground. We could always have ground provision. And bring in Dr. Marcel to talk about that. He really can tell you much about it. So I'll leave you here now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kola. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning, as always. Always enlightening. 435-2041, 435-2041. Open line edition this morning, which means you listeners and viewers, you have the option of calling in and sharing your views, your concerns, as relates to issues that you think that you have an opinion on, that you would like to share on this morning. Feel free to do so. Let's go back to the phone line. We do have another caller. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
So good morning.
How are you doing this morning, sir?
Fine, thank you. And I'm calling on the Channel 7 do show in the Channel 7 do show. Do show in the Koran go Channel 7 do show, so we want it.
Okay, all right. So we'll have that looked into. Thanks a lot for the information.
Have a good day.
Have a good day yourself. 445-2041, open line edition, Alpha to the point this morning. Feel free to give me that call and let us know, of course, what's on your mind this morning in terms of issues that relates to maybe you have an opinion that could certainly take this beautiful island forward. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, I want to talk about they want to put some flyover from walk across in Glen area.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a very good thing for because vehicles traveling on that road they'll travel very fast, and when somebody trying to cross the road, sometimes they can't move fast as they should.
All right.
And that will be a problem. And concerning with the buses in Glen, he has had them wardens they right around the areas and them. And you see them buses, the first bus come, you see he park right in the last, just barely entering into the bus stand.
Mm-hmm.
And the other buses coming now, they don't have a place to go in the front. They have to pass them and go in front now. And so while the one waiting in the last position where people coming towards the bus to move on. I think the police, the wardens should at least, the first bus coming in the stand, let it go in front and take it out and go. And the bus stand is not a bus terminal to say you're packing up a wait for load. You come there, you pick up what day and go. You don't have to wait there until you get load to go. I think that's a move they're supposed to try to fix.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. You're welcome. Let's hear from you this morning.
Oh, yeah, good morning. How you doing?
Not too bad, man.
You know, the thing is that, when I was growing up in Grenada as a youth, everybody in the community take part of what was going on in the community, which is just basic common sense. Now, what you what has happened over among the years is a lot of people that used to make this happen, they die out. A lot of people migrated, a lot of people travel. But these things is what we remember. So, just to say, we have seen as youths what used to happen when we was growing up. We have to contribute and try to maintain our community and do the same thing. It's not about just calling a station and saying, I ain't trying to think nobody here, but I'm just saying. Because everybody could go up on the mic and give a very long speech. But is the doing? What do you do? You went to that primary school. How do you give back? Do you take some time to spend with children instead of spending it at a rum shop all the time? Instead of calling all the time? And this is what's important. We have to, the only difference you could make is by doing. It's not by only talking. Yes, you have ideas, you have opinions, and everybody who has something to say. But at the end of the day, what are you doing to make a difference? As they always used to say, if you clean around your house and I clean around my house, we ain't got a mosquito, You know what I mean? So it's all about doing what we have to do for our community. Our community is a sense of urge especially for young people, because I was young once too, and because of the elders in my community, we start playing football and we start seeing uniforms and things coming. We never knew where the uniforms come from. You just see uniform and ball and shoot ball, and you see netball playing and everybody taking part. Sometimes you are part of the choir, but you had to be engaged in something. And the people in the community who used to make this happen, the first thing they will ask you as a youngster, what are you doing? They just don't want to see you running up and down playing. You have to get yourself involved in something. So it's all about give back. You can't go back in history because, let me say, 1983 has already gone. That era gone. Yes, you have some things you can recall that was good or that bad, whatever. But we have to move on and do what you know is best for your community. Have a good day.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to the nation. My contribution this morning, what is on my mind, 40 years of NNP. That's what I'm thinking about. I've been listening to the news and realized we already had 40 years past. I am over 40, so I have been there for all this time. Yes, there were some great programs that the NMP had achieved. There's a lot of things like the bus terminal, the stadium. There was a lot of things been done. But I think in 40 years we could have get much more. I think, in my opinion, if we had the revolution in 40 years, it would have been much more developed. I think there was much more that the amount of time that Dr. Mitchell has stayed there as a leader, we could have achieved much more than what has Grenada, where we come from to where we are today. He has spent most of the time there, and within that time, he has been there for 40 years. He has been there in politics for 40 years, not leading alone, but as a minister of works in the early time. And he had played some of his part, but I think if he could have done much more. I think it's time that that's my opinion, it's coming from me, that it's time for him to go. You should have had someone already put in place, not just put in place, but a couple people that he has trained, that today that they could have taken over from him. I don't understand how could I be a leader in my community or in anything, and for 40 years didn't train anybody to take over from me. I think it's totally ridiculous. I'm not a good leader if that happened. So I am watching him in this light that he didn't do proper to the Grenada people. Today, he shouldn't be worrying about when I leave what's going to happen. He should have people that he had put there that he could have done that could take that job away, could do that job now. He wouldn't be able to do it for the rest of his life. I continue to say, if it was me at this time, at that age, have funds and money that I could live on, why would I stay back here to take Grenadian bullshit? After all these years and all the things that I might have done already, I should sit down now at my age where I could enjoy my little money because I'm dead 15 or 20 years from now. I'm not saying that, not to say that he wouldn't die, but at that time, but I'm just saying from my point of view that why should I sit down and take that bullshit now? Why should I take all this stress? Now it's time for me to relax, put my foot up somewhere and drink a glass of wine and laugh about what I have done in the past and what I have put in place. I think it's time that he know that get somebody else to rule the party. He's going to go down with this NNP and he's going to kill it like how the GULP went down. That's my advice to you, Doc. It's time to move. It's time for you to put someone else to take your place. Give somebody else a chance, a younger person maybe, somebody else. Give somebody else the chance to take care of this party.
All right.
If it's that you're going to go down.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. 435-2041, 435. You have the option of calling in via the WhatsApp and calling me directly, 435-2041. Let's go back to the WhatsApp once again. Caller, good morning. I think you've been on already, so you'll be a little bit brief in your contribution this time. Go right ahead, please.
The thing is that I think basically we have to learn that there's always a time in life to move on, as I said, for betterment. Now, check this out. You have an MP, you have an NDC. Everybody, some people keep going back and forth, NDC. The thing is that the basic common denominator is that what are you doing for your country to make a difference? You know what I'm saying? Kid is going to go out of poor anyway. He can't be there forever. You understand? So we have to make a difference. Let me explain something. It's just like how you leave Grenada. You go to Canada, England, America, and then you migrate to somewhere. People are making that, okay, you might say America is a powerful place. Everybody wants to go to America. But the reason for that is because of opportunity. But the opportunity, as people think, don't come easy. You see, when they get to America, they realize it's not on the street waiting for you. You, as an individual, coming from Grenada, Trinidad, Jamaica, whatever, you had to go grab that opportunity. And in grabbing and in doing so, you making America a powerful place. Everybody who have migrated to America, Canada and England and place, they're making America a powerful place. Because what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? Number one, you go back to school. Number two, you get a good job. you open your own business. It's the same philosophy that's supposed to take place in Grenada. Not anything different. Not anything different. If you go to sit down in America and wait on the government, you'll never go nowhere. And people must realize that.
All
As the fella say, you could take a drink of wine anytime. You have to wait for the kid to go to the port to take a drink of wine. All right, bye-bye.
Take it easy, man. Thank you so much. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning, GT. How are you today, sir?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Go right ahead, please.
All right. I want to make a couple points. What I'm looking at, you see, the gentleman said that the uniforms and so forth for football and those things, they didn't know where they're coming from. But I could remember in this era, Sir Gary made it like a sort of a mandate that all companies and business try to sponsor some football team, a cricket team, a steel band, a group. So that will grow the population, the youths, and help them out, and in the sports, build the sports. But now it's different, and because what is happening now, we don't realize that, for instance, I grew up in the olden days, right? Olden time, what we call olden time. There were standpipe all over. So we as young guys, places that we could go and fish all over, right? I had cows, I had sheep, I had goats. You had places we could go and get pick tambourine and sell, hustling and doing all these little things. But what the leaders don't realize, that all these things are taken away from this generation, this youth. These youths don't have the privilege that we had to grow up, the freedom we have. Because why? Development. So all these companies and businesses that take over, buying the lands, doing the business, the youths don't have. Because look, as a youth, when I grew up, I never had to buy water. But any youth right now walking along the street right now they have to buy water. They don't have place to go and tie a sheep or goat, and that is taken away from them. So we as leaders have to look, all these companies and things, all the different parishes in Grenada should have a training school, developing these young fellas to come up to us in skills so that they can go and do a job. So even they're doing a little hustling right now during the day, when 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, they can go in a training center and try to build up on the skill till about 9, 10, and then go home and sleep and go on. There's a lot of things taken away, but what is happening now, everything is a vehicle. In my days, when you hear they're going out building a house or some place, when the fellas come there, they build a shed and the fellas staying there till weekend. And then they're going home. No, you cannot. They're not like that. Every worker you see by a building going up now have a car. But
caller, it's simply the option of saying times has changed. I mean,
yeah,
we don't expect us to be living back in the 60s and so forth anymore. Times have suddenly changed. You know?
we all know that. We know the tribe change, but I'm trying to explain to you what is causing that. So because now you have a car to go to work, you know the car to maintain you. So everything that's going to bring up more costs. For instance, all the vehicles, among the people on the road, do they ever check that is slowing down the production of the workforce in Grenada? Because everybody had to reach to work late, you're slowing down. We know it cannot happen, but we are trying to show you what have to be done. Because all of these companies and they think you have to have places for these young people to do things, to get going. Else they're going to be more gunsmen all about, and then we're waiting on, because of Haiti with its gangs and things, right. They're waiting on a shipment are going to come in from Haiti, because these guys, the only thing they're going to be able to do to make money is to sell guns to the Caribbean, because there's no legitimate government or anybody going to lend them money. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. How are you? Let's hear your contribution, please.
Yeah. Morning.
Good morning. Go right ahead.
Morning. One of the callers said that Kit Mitchell must go. But my opinion in that, I don't think Kit Mitchell is the problem. I think the problem is the Grenadian people. How one man cannot hold a political party at ransom. That's not relevant. Secondly, Our color say that if we had the revolution, it would be better. I wonder if you know what's going on in Cuba and Venezuela. How life is in Cuba and Venezuela. Where the revolution will get money to keep up its economy. If the PRG was in power still. Now Gaddafi is not here to pass the money to the PRG. Saddam Hussein is not here. Cuba is surviving because of a hotel industry. Canada and Italy save Cuba. Now I just listen to all them left-wingers talking in Grenada. When the Soviet Union collapsed, Gorbachev tell Fidel Castro, change the economy. Fidel Castro say revolution or death. Fidel Castro was a good friend of Pierre Trudeau and the Canadian government and the Italian government. He transformed the economy into tourism. Now I work for 2 years in a company we used to sell appliances. And my job was to do shipment. And the amount of fridge I see Canadians sending to Cuba. Because a lot of Canadians go to Cuba and they had a girlfriend and all them things. You could go in Cuba and get a girl is. Now, Cuba have a system run by a family. That's what this Grenadian only talking about revolution. And you believe if Maurice Bishop was there, Grenada would be better. Grenada would be under a blockade if the PRG was in power. Because where they all get money to run the country. And go, lastly, before I close, 1 minute. Kit Mitchell is not the problem. Too many young people want to loaf. If you come from the revolution and you want to create a socialist party, why are you joining the NNP party and hoping for Kit Mitchell to give you his party? You're lazy. Go on the ground and make a political party. It's the same thing. Maurice Bishop used the jewel and he crushed them and he created a socialist state and then they fail. If you want to make a new system, form a political party, go on the ground and present your programs to the Grenadian people. Don't go and join Kit Mitchell party and hoping he'll give you the party.
All right.
That's nonsense.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Have a good morning. Thank you so much for your opinion this morning. Let's take a final caller in this segment, then we take a break. Caller, good morning. You're welcome, sir.
Greetings.
Good morning.
Very interesting comments. We know comments which indeed provoke debate. Now that chap just spoke about and he singled out Cuba and Venezuela. My dear brother, listen to this. Cuba and Venezuela are very creative countries and they've been able to succeed because of the creativity of their own people. Reasons why they're suffering economically is because of the economic warfare established and waged upon them by the United States. Don't you know that, sir? That Uncle Sam say you shall not handle my dollar, which is the internationally established money for transactions and so on. But because it's theirs, they say you can't handle it, and we will sanction you, and we will blockade you. That is why, sir. What gives the United States the right to do that in defiance of the United Nations, of course, which has become a cesspool because it has been sequestered? Because they feel they own this world hegemony. So don't criticize the Cuban and Venezuelan people. Had they had the money and the capacity to spend money, normally this world may be riding high and not being in the state as they are. They have capacity and they are hard-working and intelligent people. I just want to piggyback briefly a little faster to Mr. Telesford on a comment made by the first caller, Mr. Antoine. As it relates to competition. Competition does not have to be adversarial nor confrontational. The reason why, and if you look around the world you'll see, but let's just focus on Grenada. The reason why competition in this country, and that label what's called competitive, has become as it is, so confrontational for many reasons. I can only picture 4 quickly. 1, incompetence and ineptitude. Hypocrisy, Mr. Telesford, pay attention to this. You know who you know, you can get where you want to go. And if the intelligent one with a greater capacity only challenges you because you will use your influence, and this way to fly dump, that's what makes it confrontational. Poor standards and poor adherence to the standards. And because of who you know and so on, you stand a better chance at the person who really has the capacity to do it. That's what makes it confrontational. But competition enhances mankind's capacity if it is done properly. It creates greater innovation. We know it as it is said. Necessity is the mother of invention. And people create, people do things. So I'm not disputing what he says. What he says is correct. That's what happens, but it doesn't have to be a nice matter for discussion. Mr. Telesford, so many things to talk about in this here country. But it's a pity we had somebody else a chance. Have a nice day and a nice weekend,
too, sir.
Will you, sir?
Have a good day yourself. Hey, folks, we drew for a break. Let's take it. We come back. More of your calls. Open line edition of To The Point for today, Friday, the 17th of May. We will be right back after the break.
A call to protect our children. Innocent lives brought into this world. Fruits of the womb, boys and girls. Young lives born into families, longing to be loved and protected by society. Meanwhile, there are persons who are focused on abusing children, ravaging their innocence, pretending to be their friend, appearing to be genuine and a source of protection. They are the same ones who are armed with deception. These wolves in sheep clothing must be exposed. A lot are walking around and nobody knows. It's about time that these abusers feel uncomfortable in society, for the things they do to children is a disgrace to humanity. Our children's cry of no, help, seems to fall on deaf ears. Abusers still ravage them despite the painful tears. There are children who have been abused for many years by people they know. It's like no one cares. Can we not hear the screams of our children as predators continue to use and abuse them? So many died, gone too soon, should have been here to glow and bloom. Together, let's stamp abuse out of this land. As a united force, yes, we can. Wipe away the tears from our children's eyes as we create a society that is free to thrive. I call on all of society. Let us take a stand, for the power of change is in our hands. Make abuse of children a thing of the past, a society where children are free at last.
Get ready to witness the ultimate showdown of athleticism and adrenaline. The Whitsuntide Games are back, and they're bigger and better than ever before. Join us on Saturday, May 18th at the electrifying Kirani James Athletic Stadium. The action kicks off bright and early with the morning session starting at 9 a.m. sharp. Watch the best local and regional athletes go head-to-head in a battle for glory and supremacy. But wait, the excitement doesn't stop there. As the sun sets, the evening session ignites at 4 p.m., promising even more heart-pounding action and jaw-dropping performances. Secure your spot now. Finish line A, lower and upper, $30. Finish line B, lower and upper, $25. General admission, main stand, $20. Get them now at gotofed.com. Mark your calendars and be there to cheer on your favorites as they strive for victory at the Whitsuntide Games 2024.
welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point here on Classic Radio, GBN TV. Good morning to those of you who are listening and viewing via social media platforms, whether it's a Facebook page, YouTube channels. Good morning to you. Welcome. Let's go back to the phone line caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. You're welcome.
Hello, Mr. GT. Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear. Go right ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, in keeping with your opening statement this morning, I'm reminded of an American politician who said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. I think that's a basic principle that we have to understand. And I'm not trying to take political side here, and you will not guess which side I'm going to take, which side I will take if and when I have the opportunity based on what I'm saying. I'm talking basically on principle. We have to realize that we're in a democratic country. We don't have a dictatorship. And we, the people, are the one who select our representatives or members of parliament, etc. And we are the people who select who our leaders are. And the fact whether there's a particular leader or there not, that reflects on we, the people. So I think it's important that while in a consideration on this deliberation, we allude to whoever the leader is of a political party or the country, that we take some responsibility because we are the ones who select our leader. The second point is that there should be no, right, in a democratic society, that's what it is. Now, can a democratic society do things which are incorrect? Then that's why we have the Constitution. So even if the majority of the people vote for something, but that thing goes against the Constitution or basic human right, then that can trump the decision that the people voted for. And that's why we have a judicial system. The other thing is, as far as age is concerned, we should not discriminate against age, regardless of what your political leaning is. Just as we should not discriminate if a 25-year-old or 30-year-old get elected to be a member of parliament or chosen to be the leader of a political party of the country. Again, that's a democratic process. The same way we should not discriminate if someone is 65 years old and decide to run to be the prime minister of the country, or 70 years old, or so on. Everyone deserve a basic, some basic rights. And we, the people of the country, decide on that. Opinions are very important, and there is room, and there should be room in a public discourse for opinion. However, when the tire hits the road, there has to be some practical application of those opinions that have to be within the constraint of the democratic process and constitutional rights. That's all I have to say for now.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Oh, yes, good morning to you, GT, and how are you today?
I'm doing fine. How are you this morning?
Quiet to know, and you have a great day.
All right.
You know, something that concerned me, GT, is that whilst, we know that in the government service, appointees are likely to be transferred from time to time within the establishment. It concerns me when one is transferred too regularly. And just imagine you are at that level as a PS, and you hardly stay 2 months in an office. Within a year, you might be transferred 3 or 4 times to different departments. That concerns me. And you talk about somebody who have made it from 18 years to date with the government. A good performer. Yeah, humble person. Always performing in whatever duties, whatever office you put them to be done that. What I understand is that cabinets have the right to do this within the law. But I'm saying cabinet have to review that, and they have to maybe take a decision not to do that in the service, because it is creating a problem for the individual and for the service. yeah, to us, the public. So I think the practice should be stopped. Yeah? One should be able to be consolidating a duty and not acting, but appointed after this amount of years, a performer to be transferred month after month after month, not being given a chance to sit down in an office to perform the duties that you're assigned to. I believe it's unfair. To me, it is cruel. The practice should be stopped. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your contribution as always. 435-2041. It's the open line edition this morning. You have double the option of calling into the program this morning and share your opinion on a particular issue you want to speak of. Feel free to do so. We're going back to the phone line. Caller, welcome. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, GT. How are you doing?
I am doing great.
GT has two political parties in Grenada, and both of them claim they love the poor and the vulnerable. But this morning I want to have a bet. Anybody out there? I bet a little $500 to see who show more love for the poor and vulnerable between these two parties. NNP run this country longer than NEC. Especially this young group of people, and GT are betting if we have a survey today, seeing how much poor people that was using pit latrine and come out and the government changed their life from pit latrine to flush toilet, are sure NDC will win that bet. And that is the love. That is to show anytime a government want to lift your standard of living, you could see they love poor people. GT, when I go around in certain villages and I see the condition, the housing condition that the people live in, and GT, you could bet these people and them, Grenadian, they don't show up who they're voting for. They support this NNP for how long, GT, and the condition these people and them living, if you sit and you don't have tears in your eyes, just looking at the condition, you are full in water and you're crying for them. I see these people, the NNP, they talk a lot of love, strong love, but when to demonstrate for especially the poor and vulnerable, they show little for them. That is what I have to say this morning.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. Welcome.
GT, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
I heard on the news the Minister of Implementation said that he was in a job fair somewhere in SGU. And people that come for job, out of every 10 person, 8 were women and 2 men. And he keep asking, where are the men? GT, this question has been asked a lot. We recently done, and I asked someone the question a while ago, a population census in Grenada. Do you have any idea as to how many males or how many females are there when that census was conducted? I've learned that the population in Grenada is 126,000. That is what I've learned. I don't know how accurate it be. GT, throughout Grenada, you have 3 schools, secondary schools, that I know of, only girls. Anglican High School, convent in St. George's, convent in Grenville. Average population in this school, approximately 500. You have 2 schools that is only boys, GBSS and PBC, to the best of my knowledge. Average population maybe 300 for PBC and maybe about 800 for GBSS. Here we see GT. We already have much more girls, and we don't count those mid-school where girls and boys and you have more girls. We already see we have more girls than boys in school. It tells me that the traditional jobs, and I keep saying that women are applying for and then they cannot get job, they need to turn around and change it and get more involved in skill job and different things of that, because you may have jobs. You may have jobs in the country, but there might be a shortage of persons with necessary skills to fulfill those jobs. So we have to take a different approach. When we conduct the population census, let us see how many males. Let us see how many females. Children coming out from college every 2 years, how many girls out there, how many boys out there. Then I think we can address a lot of situation, and we might see the unemployment situation, what we may think it be. It may not necessarily be, but we might be looking for people with the required skills. So let's advise our young ladies as they go to school, get more involved in other technical jobs, skill jobs, and get out from these only clerical jobs and things of that sort. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, JT. How you doing, brother?
Not too bad, not too bad. Let's hear from you.
I called this morning and said that I think bottled water price went up. And I expected that to happen, because what happened to cause the drop in the lack of it wasn't the company's fault. It was basically the authorities. My little investigation found that they closed a couple plants because they say lack of sanitation. It wasn't to do with the building, more to do with the getting the source of the water. I don't know if it was moving in the middle of a dry season. You were going close producing water. In the middle of a dry season, you're going to do that. So you have a drop in the country. There is no water. No, up in our company, most companies don't have water to sell. You go to the shop to get one, you can't get one. So I expect the price to go up, because people have it, they're going to raise the price. So it's nothing to do with the company. Basically, as the caller said, lack of it, price will go up. Secondly, with the gun situation in the country, there was a press release by the police force, and to me, yes, they have a point there. But if you look at most of the shootings that took place, and the guys who get shot, just look at it. You must have a level of gang in that. And you can't dispute that. They say it's drugs related, and I don't know how they know that, because don't need to know, they know what happened already. I don't know that investigation was done so fast. But I think that the gang is coming back, and they're not coming back with cutlass, they're coming back with guns. And the police forces to understand that they need to, and the authorities in charge, need to come up with a mechanism in place, whether community leaders or pastors or whoever, to go and speak to those guys and put them back in track, because you don't want gangs to be forming in Grenada. And now we're talking about legalizing marijuana just now. So you can imagine the problem we have with guys who smoke and they high whole day and they have guns. So you just imagine the problem we have in this country. So we need to nip it in the bud right now. I don't think the amnesty is working. We need to have something else in place. So we need to get our community leaders, our pastors, our churches, go out there and speak to those guys. Because most Grenadians know who might have gone. So we could talk to them.
All right.
You have mothers, you have fathers, you have brothers, you have sisters. We could talk to them. So I think that's the route we should take. Have a nice day, brother.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. 435-2041. Double options of getting in on the program this morning. It's whether you can call via the WhatsApp 435-2041, or you can call me directly 435-2041. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Morning. I heard a caller say that the impression I got from this caller is that Keith Mitchell never had a succession plan. But as far as I know, you have two people right now that are very capable and competent, very experienced, They know what it is all about, and they could run this country. So it's not really safe to say, or it's not really correct to say he didn't have, maybe he didn't have a succession plan, maybe, but he has people, 2 people right now, who can take this country and do better. Also, in terms of the pit latrine and so that people have in this risk, and the water and so on and whatnot. That program was started, well, they call it WASH now because they changed the name. This new government changed the name. But that program was started under Keith Mitchell in terms of where people will have, they're trying to get rid of the pit latrine. And then this government come and they just continue it. But I think that person who really started it is Delma Thomas. You have to give praise, but you have to give jacket where jacket. She started under the NNP to give people water and bathroom and sanitation, and this government continues it because the NNP wanted to get rid of the situation with the pit latrine. Also, in terms of the water that the people take off, well, I understand what the guy is trying to say, but if the people that operate in these plants operated in an unsanitary situation, it means that we, the population, will get sick. So even though it's a dry season, the government have no other choice. If it's a government that, I guess it's a government that closing down, I have no problem with that. The government have no other choice because they are protecting the interests of the population. Could you imagine if everybody gets sick, gastro going wrong, all kind of a thing, with these contaminated water, the spring not collecting properly, and its unsanitary conditions? So when is he trying to say that they shouldn't do that because of the situation with the drought? My friend, I agree. Let us respect your position, but I agree with the government and the authorities because we have to be able to drink clean water, otherwise the whole population will get sick. So I have no problem with that. All right, thank you, my friend.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. 435-2041. We have approximately 8 minutes left on today's program. 435-2041. That's the number to be on the program this morning. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Gigi. How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. Go right ahead, please.
That's good to know. Gigi, going back to this, how they call it, they put it on Morris Bishop Highway. You know, a lot of people wouldn't use that. They're going to use the Grand Grenadian. Look at the bus stop. There is a bus stop, and from by the Lime Gap to CK, sometimes the bus have to stop 3 times, you know, just to get there. They would look at this thing and they wouldn't want to climb up there. They're going to run across the road as usual. Yes, they're just trying to do something, but they ain't seeing it. They don't see it. I would like them to start putting back bus stops first. Also, charging bus drivers, bus conductors, and the passenger for not using the bus stop. It's true, if the bus won't stop, the passenger can go on, but if the passenger ain't going, the bus won't stop. So I think that they have to do that. Also, maybe they have to do like in some other country, jaywalking. If you walk the wrong way, what's going to happen? Another thing, again, I haven't seen what they're doing. I don't know what our government tourist board doing because they ain't doing anything. You've seen talk shows and all those different shows, and you've seen different countries, and then they're having how they call it, people getting like St. Lucia and all them, they're sending people there. So what happened to Grenada and the airport directly? You know, nothing is happening there much. Anyway, have a nice day.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. And the caller is referring, of course, to that. Of course, I was mentioned yesterday evening in the news pertaining to that those walkovers that are soon to be implemented. So certainly we hope that he's having a different opinion as it relates to that. 435-2041, 6 minutes before we take a wrap for today's program here on To The Point, the open line edition this morning. And I haven't gone over to the Facebook to look at some of the comments that have been thrown out by individuals via the Facebook page. I will try to do that hopefully before we wrap this morning. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, welcome. Good morning.
Morning, GT.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, I want to know from Andy Williams if, well, NNP and NDC, I want to know if they hand tie. Because Monu's pastor, they have a pretty very cash to change clothes when people come to play whatever game. And to me, the Maki complex look as they tie their hands because I can't understand why nobody want to build up this place for children to change their clothes when they come to kickball. And I have my next problem with the drain. Just now we're getting rain from June.
It was ample time to work on it, huh?
This place will flood all down my coach will flood. Because that drain going on the other side, by the tiles place there, that drain one cleaning.
All right.
So I don't know what Andy doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. 435-2041. 5 minutes before we take a wrap for today's edition of To The Point. There's been an open line, this morning. And so they gave the listeners and viewers the opportunity to call in and share their views and concerns. Let's take another caller. Caller, welcome. Good morning. Somehow we missed that one. Let's try this again. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes, and how are you?
I'm doing fine. Let's hear from you, please. Let's hear your contribution.
Yes, one of the callers was talking about the amount of boys that they are having and the amount of girls, the population. But what I can tell him is that we can see what the boys are doing. Women are more constructive. Young girls, some of the young girls are more constructive and know what they want. The young men only starting to be gang, killing people, smoking, going in prison, and they don't thinking about their life. They're only thinking about living for now. But I think the young girls or the women knows that they want, they have a vision, but the boys don't. So I think that is one of the reason why women are going forward and men are just staying back. Because they don't have no ambition. It's not because of no boys, girls, and school. It's because women takes life seriously and the men don't. They find themselves in to do idle things and to be constructive. So this is my opinion. Thank you
so much for sharing it this morning. I certainly appreciate it a whole lot. Let's go to the WhatsApp. WhatsApp caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Pleasant good morning, sir. And it's nice taking my call. I just want to encourage Grenadians. Let us look to the Lord Jesus Christ. He's still God in control. He's the one who made us. He made us with a purpose. Every man, woman, boy, and girl that is in the earth is created by the Almighty God. He loves us. He loves us so much that he gave his only begotten Son. He told us that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. And that everlasting life is for every one of us this morning. Regardless of what position you hold in life, you might be the man right down to the ground. Jesus will lift you up. Whatever problems we have, we could take it to the Lord in prayer. Grenadians, let us turn to the Lord Jesus Christ this morning. Let us commit ourselves. Let us pray. Let us fight the good fight of faith in God, the true and living God, the Lord Jesus Christ. He is a prayer-answering God. Let us give up the wickedness, the weapons, and all the evil things that we are going after and seek after God. He knows what we need. He cares about us. May God help us this morning to put our trust in the true and living God and to see God in control, that God will turn things around for us as a nation. He will bring the rain. He will bring the blessings. He said, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. Let us cry out to God this morning and he will do it for us. May God bless everyone. Have a good day and a blessed weekend. Let us turn over to the Lord this morning before it's too late. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Yeah, Jay. You know, I'm not saying that health is not important, but I'm saying not the company they closed down, not the area where they have the building in. They closed down the site where they're getting the water from. I'm saying that. If you look at where now they're getting the water from, but in the middle of a dry season where people need water, it's the wrong time to do that. You do it during the time when, you know, water is plenty. People are crying in St. George's. Throughout the country, people are begging for water. They shut down water plants and make it worse. That's the problem I'm saying.
But how could you say it has made it worse? But we know the situation that it is now. I mean, every water is scarce and all over. So I mean, by shutting down the plant, there probably is some reason why they may have shut down the plant for that purpose.
Well, they could have their reason, but I'm saying that you could do something at a certain time. No, it's not the time to do it because you're in a crisis.
But we know the unavailability of water as it is right now. So, I mean, the plant, maybe if it's in private property, but it's the situation at hand, maybe the contamination of the water and so forth because of the scarcity could be one of the main reasons why it has been shut down.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, you got to weigh the pros and you have to weigh the pros and cons of it, you know.
This is my information. Where they getting the water from? If the people that go and inspect, they find it wasn't that clean enough. It wasn't a case of where, you know, the water is bad. So I'm saying that that's the wrong time to do that. Because people need water right now.
I understand where you're coming from 100%. I certainly do understand, but I'm just saying, wherever the resources that is available for the company that sells the water, the process is that water is scarce right now, so probably just that is just not enough for the company to carry on business with.
No, yeah, there's water. They shut them down because of the sanitation. And we importing water. We don't know where the water is coming from that we importing. We don't know what source it's coming from, but we importing and we're drinking it.
I understand.
So it's a smart country, bro. Have a nice day, bro.
Blessings, man. Take it easy and all the best. Have a great weekend yourself. Just around 30 seconds moving up before the top of the hour this morning. We may be able to entertain just one more caller and take a wrap for today's edition of To The Point. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. You're welcome.
Yes, sorry, and thanks for taking my call. I'm calling back again. I think if water is considered on fit for consumption, for drinking, if it's unclean, is to take the measure to prevent that from getting into the market. I prefer to spend more money for clean water than less money for unclean water. And I'm at a loss to understand criticism of that.
Caller, we're having a bit of a connection issue with you in this segment, so we may have to take a wrap. I'm certainly not getting you proper this morning. In this segment, we were hearing you a bit earlier, a little better. For some reason, we may be having a connection problem with you. And it's also time for us to take a wrap for this edition of To The Point. I want to thank all who contributed towards today's program, the Open Line edition. Certainly appreciate your comments and your contributions. Certainly wish you a blessed day, what's left of it. Have a great weekend to come. Join me again next week, once the Almighty permits, when we do have another edition for you of To The Point. Have a good one, folks. That's where we say goodbye for this edition of To The Point. Goodbye, folks.